everyone, it's Donna Cutting from redcarpetlearning.com, and you're watching the redcarpetway.tv. And I am really excited because this is the first of what will be several interviews with movers and shakers, people who are really doing big things in the space of customer service, customer experience, employee engagement, other related fields. And this is the first, but I have to say, I don't know how we're going to top this one because I scored big. We have with us today my friend Shep Hyken. Shep was talking about customer service before anyone was talking about customer service. He, of course, started when he was 2 years old. And he is the customer service and experience expert at his company, Shepherd Presentations. He is a New York Times and Wall Street Journal best-selling author, and he's got several books. I've got two of them right here. I'm a fan of Shep and his books. We're here to talk to him today about his newest book, The Convenience Revolution, and I'm just really excited. Shep is a friend of mine from NSA. He is a CPAE, which means he is in the Speaker Hall of Fame. This is a really big deal for me today, and I want to just say welcome, Shep.
Well, thank you. And by the way, NSA stands for National Speakers Association. We're the ones that talk. The other NSA, they are the people that listen.
Yeah.
So, just saying. Hey, Donna, thanks for having me. I'm very excited. I love your work too. So it's not, I so much appreciate your words. But, when I read the red carpet, how many? 501.
501.
You remember when we did our interview, I kept saying, it's not 500, it's 501 ways to roll out that red carpet for your customers.
That's right. But I have to say, I read the title of this book and I thought, yes, this is perfect. It's the convenience revolution. There's not a better time to be talking about this right now. And before we delve into that, let me just say this book, if you're watching this before October 2nd, 2018, then the book hasn't even been released yet. However, you can still get your hot little hands on a copy. Shep, why don't you tell us right away how that can happen?
Sure. Well, if you purchase the book ahead of time and just go to beconvenient.com or buy it on Amazon and just send me a copy of, forward me a copy of the receipt with your name and email address, we will get you the ebook immediately. So the ebook's available. I mean, actually the book, as we speak, it's at the printer being printed. The publisher tells me it's going to be shipped about 2 weeks before the release date. So everything's on time, but the ebook is available only through me if you buy the book in advance. So just go to either beconvenient.com or go to Amazon and we'll make sure you get the ebook. Can't wait.
Yes, and I have been delving into the ebook, so I already highly recommend it. But let's talk about it, Shep, because you've written several books before, and this one is very different. The Convenience Revolution. Tell us why this book? Why now?
Sure, and this is my 7th solo authored book. And every other book that I've written, every book I have written has moments of magic, moments of misery. That to me is the core message. You manage the interaction that you have with customers. And in my last book, and you held it up, Be Amazing or Go Home, as I was talking through brainstorming ideas, I said, there's something in common with companies, not people, but with companies that are being super successful. And I'm trying to put my finger on it, but I just think they're so much easier to do business with today. Who are the companies you want to do business with and why? And it's not just a phenomenal service experience, which, by the way, today is table stakes. You've got to deliver that. Mm-hmm. It's that they're just easier in ways like I use Amazon, which is almost a cliche when it comes to customer service. I mean, can you Amazon your company? It's
yeah.
What can you do to make it easier? And the one-click ordering and the dash button. I mean, I love the dash button. For those who don't know it, it's like a little doorbell, and you would hear it to the side of a washing machine, and you buy a dash button. It looks like a doorbell, but it's for a specific product. So when you run out of your washing machine detergent, you just push the button and it's connected through your Wi-Fi, and it says, oh, this person needs more washing machine detergent. And guess what? It gets delivered. How easy is that? It's
Oh my
amazing.
gosh. I
So
didn't even know about that. Now I'm so
yeah, and I mean, all the things they're doing with technology and delivery and accessibility. I mean, 24/7, you can go onto an Amazon website, you can get support if you need it. They are the poster child of being easy to work with, hence being convenient. So they're a main case study. There's six principles of convenience, and they hit all six of them. And there are many other companies that do as well, companies we've heard of, and well as companies that we haven't. And I use case studies throughout the entire book of little companies, big companies, B2B, B2C, so we get different industries. But convenience is the difference maker today. All things being equal, if we have a good product at a competitive price and we offer good service, and by the way, so does our competitor, that puts us into the commodity trap. And always service has been your way out of that commodity trap. But I believe more and more companies are recognizing, as a matter of fact, the stats say 81% of executives are saying that next year in 2020 and 2021 are the years that they will invest 81% of the resources. I mean, there's so many stats and facts, but that's a good one, into the customer experience, which means they're all going to get better at customer service. So what's the next level is to be easier than your competitor. And
yeah.
think about what Uber did to the entire taxi cab industry.
Yeah.
So they're the first single case study under reducing friction, which is the number one of the six principles. And every principle has reducing friction as part of it, but some companies make their entire value proposition about reducing friction for their customers. And Uber made it as easy as can be. I mean, before Uber, if you wanted a cab where I live, you have to pick up the phone and call one. And then they'll say, cab will be there in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. And you say, that's fine. And then guess what happens? You call them in 15 minutes, going, where's my cab? Hold on. And you hear the dispatcher communicating via radio, cab will be there in about 3 minutes. Oh, right. So 10 minutes later, you call back, where's my cab? And then the cab finally gets there, you're aggravated. The cab driver doesn't even know where he or she is going. And you finally, at the end of the trip, you reach in your pocket and fumble around looking for money, looking for your credit card to finally pay. What does Uber do? Eliminates all of that. Push the button, app opens up. Oh, they're 6 minutes away. You can see the little on the screen. Oh, here they're driving down my street. And not only that, you've already put in the address of where you're going, and it tells you what the price is going to be. And when the Uber driver picks you up, for me, they say, I know for you, they say hi Donna, but they say hi Shep to me, which is amazing. They know who we are, right? And then we get in, and they know that they're going to get tipped if they do a good job. So it's nice and clean. They offer you bottled water. Sometimes it's really nice. And then you get to the destination. You don't even have to pay them. Well, you do, but you don't have to reach in your pocket. You just leave, and it automagically happens. Do you like that word? Automagically.
Automatically. And we're
It's
going to
not
get
my word, by the way. It's not my word, but it's a good word.
it is a good word, and more, that's what people are looking for today. I know myself, I loved in your book, there was a little call out box that said, somewhere right now, there's a hotel guest who knows there's a soda machine down the hall selling a can of Coke for $1.50, but who's choosing the $4.50 can of Coke from the mini bar
Right,
anyway.
exactly.
Like, I have done that. And it is
25 feet down the hall, and you still want to pay 4 to 5 times more because it's convenient.
convenient. That's right. It's right there. And and we're going to get into your the six strategies of
Yeah.
convenience.
Mhm.
But I want to just ask you because I found this fascinating. Really, when I saw the title, I thought this is a perfect time because that's what everybody wants: quick, easy, convenient. And yet, you start off the book by saying this is not a new concept. The
No,
concept of wanting convenience has been around for a very long time. Tell me about
it's been around for centuries.
that.
It really has. So 534 AD, that's like a long time ago, hundreds of
Really?
years ago. Right. Justinian the Great and the Byzantine Empire had a decree. It was called the Justinian Code. And part of that code mentioned that at every major crossroads or intersection, I guess it was the chariots going, I don't know, but there should be a store selling life's necessities for the citizens, which is basically the first convenience store of all time.
Yeah.
Now we cut to about 1927 here in the U.S. Southland Corporation is an ice company. They sell blocks of ice and I believe they had 20, maybe 28 or 29 locations. And you would buy a block of ice, take it home, and it would cool everything in a refrigerator. Well, there was an employee, they refer to him as Uncle Johnny, who put milk and cookies and bread on top of a block of ice. Now, I believe they were his, and he was just putting them there until he went home, but somebody wanted to buy them, and all of a sudden, they started selling more and more of this type of merchandise. And within a short time, every one of the stores was selling, the necessities of life, the milk, the bread and staples. And then they expanded. And today there are 65,000 7-Eleven stores around the world. And it's the
Wow.
convenience revolution.
Yeah. Yeah, and open exactly when you need it too. I've been driving down I've got a story of driving down a dark road just looking for somewhere to stop, and that 7-Eleven was there. It's definitely, definitely such a great example. So it's been around, and the need has been around for years
Right.
and years and years. But now maybe even more important because people expect things quickly, right? And they
Well,
expect
and
it
we're
to
being trained. And so here's the point. Everybody is worried about what the competitor is doing. I've got to be at least as good as my competitor. No, you don't, not anymore. You've got to be better than that, because here's why. Your customers aren't looking to compare you to competitors anymore. They compare you to the best customer service they've ever had anywhere and by anybody. And that could be a big company. It could be at work. The inside sales rep at that manufacturing company is the most knowledgeable, helpful person. And you know what? He or she knows me, calls me on my birthday. What a relationship. And they make
yeah,
life so easy. Or it could be the salesman who just sold me an on sale $25 pair of shoes at the local department store, who was just knowledgeable and helpful and wanted to get me a great deal. Why can't people be as good as him or her? And that's what you're being compared to. So stop comparing yourself to the competition. The only reason to look at the competition is to make sure that you aren't lagging the competition, because you can't just be the same. You've got to keep up and be better.
especially that. Yeah, more and more. You have got to, you've got to be the person who sees the opportunity,
Yep.
and I think this book is going to help people see that. And I love it because I always talk about sort of three areas of the service to pay attention to: the process, technical and process, warmth
Hmm.
and hospitality. So you were talking about that just then, and then the wow factor. But really, the convenience is about process. How do we make it easier? At least that was my takeaway
Yeah,
from.
and that's exactly the point. And to me, a wow experience is anything that's better than average. And if you want me to come back and you want to keep wowing me, just keep making it a little bit better than average, because doing that consistently, that blows me away, as does many other customers. But yeah, this is all about look at your process and where is there a friction point? You know, picking up the phone and calling a cab and then having to wait and not knowing if the cab's going to be there. There's a number of friction points built into just that experience. Another case study in the first of the 6 principles, reducing friction.
Reduce friction, right? Reduce friction. That's your
Right.
first. Yes.
Yeah, that's the first one, is clear, Clear. Clear is, a lot of people don't know what clear is. It's not in every airport, but it's in many of the airports. So when you go through security, that's TSA, the Transportation Security Administration. If you pay a little bit more money and get pre-screened, you get to go into the TSA pre-line, which is usually shorter and it's more convenient. Why? You don't have to take your shoes off. You don't have to take your computer out. It's just an easier experience. So people are willing to pay a little bit more to get that line to have a convenient. Well, Clear takes that to another level. They said, and by the way, I don't know if you've experienced this, Donna. Where do you live? You live in Florida,
I live in
or
Asheville, North
in
Carolina.
Asheville, North Carolina, which is
I
like
know,
Florida.
but what was that?
It's like Florida. It's beautiful.
It is beautiful in a different way. It's beautiful. We went from the Gulf to the mountains. That's what we did.
So, you probably fly through Atlanta a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Delta is your airline of choice.
Delta
Yes.
is my airline of choice. Yes,
Great.
for many reasons, but also yes, because I
Yeah.
fly through.
So
So,
somehow they're affiliated with Clear. And let's talk about Delta in just a second because I love them and what they've done. So Clear, if you pay a little bit more money than you would for TSA Pre, you now get into another line. And by the way, that line, there's never more than like two people ahead of me in a Clear line. I go to Orlando and I see the regular TSA line. Oh my gosh, that's got to be 30, 45 minutes. Then the TSA Pre line, okay, it looks bad, but it moves pretty quick. Maybe it's 10 minutes, 5, 7, 10 minutes. The Clear line, no wait. And what happens is they scan your ticket on your phone, or you show them your ticket, and you put your fingers on the biometric fingerprint scanner or whatever they call that, and they say, oh, this really is the Shep Hyken that we know, and they take me in front of all the people in TSA Pre and put me on the other side of the security guy. And you know what? That extra 10 minutes multiplied by 50 trips a year, that's a lot of hours that I save and gain back, and they make it more convenient. So with Delta, what I love about Delta, and you looked at the process, years ago, who was the first person to do online check-in and online ticket purchasing? My my research says it was Delta Airlines.
wow.
One
Yeah.
day, a guy calls me up. He's a buddy of mine. He says, I had the best experience on Delta Airlines. I got all the way to the plane. I didn't have to talk to any of the employees. Now, I thought, well, you don't like the employees at Delta? He goes, oh, no, 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 no. I don't mean it that way. What I mean is they've got this new system. I can go on, I could buy my ticket online, and then I checked in online. I didn't have to check any bags, so I just went straight to the gate. It was like so easy, easy,
Yes.
frictionless, convenient.
Yep. Yep. And they do. And I really, Delta to me, process and warmth and hospitality, they have
Yep.
really been knocking it out. I mean,
They're
knocking it
doing
out
a
of the
good
park.
job. I mean, I fly American Airlines out of St. Louis only because I've been on them for so many years, and I think that they do a good job. At least they do a good job for me. Delta, I think, is winning the awards right now for the #1 large carrier. Although obviously Southwest is considered a large carrier, and now that they're going international, I think you're going to see Southwest being compared to the Deltas and American Airlines and the Uniteds, and they should be. And Southwest is an amazing airline as well, the
Oh,
way they do things and how they do it. If you love the system that they have, their people are great, hospitality mentality, it's all there. So,
lots of fun. So that's
yep.
good. That's hope for the airline industry too.
It's hope for the
So
passengers who are flying here. Yeah.
yes, because you're right. As someone who travels, like you, it's like convenience in travel. That is definitely somewhere I look for convenience. And I love, so you have these six
Yes.
strategies.
Hmm.
First being reduce friction. The second is self-service. And I
Self-service. Yep.
self-service, and I love that because I have a love-hate relationship with that. I go to the grocery store, I am in that self-service line, right? Especially if I'm just buying a few items. And yet at the same time, I love interacting with people. So I'm curious because you wrote a self-service option may improve your customer's experience with your company, but not all self-service options do. So I'd love for you to explore that a little bit.
Sure. Well, #1, notice that when you go through the self-service line, there might be 4 or 6 of these little self-service areas for you to scan your own groceries. There's always an employee there. That's your
Yes,
human backup, always. So if you need the interaction because you need help, that employee's there. So whether it's
correct.
at the hardware store or the grocery store, that self-service option is great. But that kind of self-service, why do you go there? I only have a few items. Look at that long line with the family with a basket that's filled with groceries. I don't want to have to wait behind that family, so I'm going to
Right.
go in the self-service line. I get right through. Hence convenience. And if I love that because it saves you time. And when you learn the system, it's easy to understand. So if I go on and buy my airline ticket on deltaairlines.com, it's a little different than southwest.com or AAAmerican or united.com. But once I learn the system, it then
Yes.
becomes really easy. So I might have a little bit of friction in the learning process, but once I get it, it's good. I used Panera Bread as a lead case study in the self-service area, and I'll tell you why. I watched them morph from what I would call fast casual restaurant, where you go and stand in line and order from a person behind the counter. Then they would call your name and you'd pick up your food when the food was ready, and then you could go sit down or you can take it with you. I watched them morph into really a self-service solution that was really a better experience for the customer all around. And the reason I chose them is the line that the manager gave me. So here's what I saw. Number one day I noticed that there was a kiosk, like where you can go over and order off of a computer screen. There was still a line what you could stand in, and there were still people with cash registers, but there was this kiosk. And there was a person there. Would you like to self-service and order your food from here? Sure. And he walked me through it. Oh, this is easy. And now I do it every time because it's so much faster than going through the line. And then you'd go over, and when your food was ready, they'd call you. Well, that was step number one, self-service kiosk. Then they say, hey, here's a pager. Put your pager number in. You don't have to stand up there. We won't call you anymore. When the pager light goes off, then come up and get your food. Even better, a few months later, take your pager to a table and set it down. There's now sensors in the table that will let food runners know when your food is ready. They will bring it to you so you don't have to go stand up with a bunch of people. Well, even more and more convenient, right? So when I said to the manager, I've watched this morph in the last year and a half. Why are you doing this? And he said, because it is more convenient for our guests. Exact quote. So the cool thing is they didn't eliminate any people. You would think that by creating that self-service option where I can order at the kiosk, they'd get rid of the counter. They did not. They not only kept the people, but they recognized the opportunity for when the person brings the food out, that person could then engage with the customer at another level that they didn't have before. They may actually have not the same number of people. They may actually add more people during busy times because they like how that's interacting with the customer and building a relationship. So there you
I
go.
love that. That's so important because I think that's the fear that people have of the over that self-service
Yeah.
or we lose
It,
the human
it
beings
could
and
it could be. You know, if I'm working for a major automotive manufacturer brand, and they want me to incorporate all six of these into their, like, how can we do this? And at the dealership level, well, if you want to look at a car, you can go on the website and you can actually pick out the colors. You can pick out the everything you want, all the options. It'll print it out. It'll tell you what retail is, and then you could go to your dealer and say, hey, what's the deal? And so you've done all that pre-work ahead of time before you get there. That's a self-service option. There is another one. It's called I think it's called Carvanha. Have you heard of Carvanha?
no.
Carvana.com. This is the coolest. It's a vending machine. So you pick out your car, all the specs, and you go to the Carvana store, and they give you a huge token, and you drop it in the machine, and you look at it. It looks like a big vending machine, and the cars are spinning around just like your sandwich or your sodas. Or you can't shake it and get a car out of it, but this car comes out, and then it comes, and you test drive it. If you like it, you buy it. If not, they put it back up into the vending machine. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh. I
And
have to look that up.
but it's kind of a combination of self-service and technology, which is the third of the, how do you like that segue? The third of the six
That was
principles.
great. That
Yep.
was great. Yeah, that's next. So tell us about that because obviously, I mean, that seems so obvious, but tell us, like
Well,
technology.
technology is a great enhancer of the experience. If you can use technology, an app of some kind. But think about what PayPal did with transferring money from one place or one person to another person. PayPal is great. That's an example, and that's our lead case study. And Venmo is now owned by PayPal. But there's so many other different ways to incorporate technology. I was working. Are you get ready? I love these people. I love Great Clips. You know, the hair salons. I
Mhm.
last year I did a series of speeches, and I thought they hired the bald guy to talk to a bunch of salon managers. I love this. Okay,
I was
so
gonna say.
I know this is a number nothing, So on my driver's license where it says, what's your hair color? It says Caucasian. So, so anyways, I digress. But you know what they have? It's amazing. They have a system where if you want to get your hair cut, they don't take appointments. You have to go to the salon and put your name on a piece of paper. And if, it's going to be about an hour, then you go shop or do whatever and come back. Well, that's the old way of doing things. Now you can go on their website or the app and open it up and say, oh, I'll just put my name down. It's going to be an hour. Great. And you can watch your name go up the list. And if you're not there, when they call your name, they will keep your name on the list and keep calling you for 1 hour every time the next appointment is available. This is in the book, the NoWait app. Are you familiar with the NoWait app? I don't know if they have it in Asheville. They have it in many cities, and it's a restaurant waiting app where if the restaurant you want to go to has a long wait and they're on the NoWait app, you could actually go and say, oh, wow, an hour and a half wait, put your name in, watch your name go up the list and time your arrival right about the time they call your name, and you won't have to wait, hence
Oh,
no
that's
wait. Yeah. So
wow.
once again, reducing friction, it's easier, it's convenient, it's fast, and it's using technology.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that's great. I'm learning so much. I can't wait to read the rest of your book.
Neither can I. I mean, I
I'm
keep
writing
reading
down
it
all
over and over again. So
I love convenience. And I love this next one. Actually, I
oh, this
love
next
this
one's big.
I'll
Huge.
say subscription. And I'll tell you because I think, my experience probably encompasses both this next one and then the one after because we just fell in love with Chewy.com.
I
I
love
don't know if
Chewy.com, and I wish I would have included them in the book. They weren't, when I was writing the book, they weren't as hot as they are right now.
Yeah, well, we've got two dogs, Moxie and Tonks, and we used to go to the pet store to get natural balanced dog food. And, they started like they moved the cans, and so now they're way up here, and you have to find a person to get, on the ladder to go get them. And it just really, honestly, the conversation my husband and I had was how inconvenient. We love the dog food, the dogs love the dog food, and but it was just really becoming inconvenient. And somebody told me about chewy.com, and
Mm.
now it's delivered and it's automated. I don't even have to reorder. So tell us about
It comes
subscription
every
because
month
I
because they know, you're going to run out of dog food once every certain amount of time, and based on the size of your dog, and you just set it up as a reoccurring delivery, and that's called subscription. Even Amazon, they now have items, consumable things that you use over and over again. It says subscribe and save. By subscribe means once you agree to this, you want, once a month. How about Dollar Shave Club? Every month I get my razors, okay, fresh razors. Chewy's the same way. Imagine you have not little cans of dog food, but let's say you have a ginormous dog and you go through 100 pounds of dog food a month and you get these big, huge 50-pound bags of dog food. You no longer have to go to the store, put them in your car, take them out of the car, take them, what, because it's delivered to you. So I love the concept of subscription. Most people think of subscription as like a newspaper or magazine, but no, it's a great business model. And any type of business can get into this. The hardware store that every 6 months you're supposed to replace your filters in your air conditioning unit will send you your filters automatically or automagically. How about the major manufacturer that you have bought a piece of equipment? You know what? For a subscription or an annual fee, they will provide the maintenance. They'll come out once a quarter. They'll do whatever they need to do to the machine to keep it running smoothly. I mean, I pay that for my copy machine. That's a subscription model. You don't see it as that. You see it as a maintenance contract. It's the same thing. But when you start thinking in terms of, wow, subscription model, that's what it is. That model can work for all types of businesses. Not every business, but almost every business has the opportunity. There's airlines right now, and as a matter of fact, American Airlines used to have uh, gosh, what was it called? Our friend Dr. Tony Alessandra has one, Rick Barrera, Brian Tracy has one, but it's a certain pass. You paid
oh,
a one-time fee and you got a lifetime privilege. Okay. In a sense, and by the way, you could pay it out over time. So for 7 years, you're paying, it's like a subscription model. My car, when I bought my car, which I'll talk about my car in a little while, I bought all my maintenance at the time I bought my car, saving a little bit of money. But guess what happens? Every year, or they can track my miles. Uh, you know, every year they tell me it's time to bring your car in. So it's like the reminder, and it's like a subscription. I just pay for it.
and
So
it's for the customer incredibly convenient. That's what
it's
they're
what it does.
the business. You'll go ahead.
Yeah, the convenience is I don't have to think about it.
Yes. Yeah.
Yep,
And then for the business, it's reoccurring revenue too. It's that guaranteed
exactly. Reoccurring revenue, they love that. So.
revenue. Yes. That's
Reoccurring revenue with an increase, like you increase your customer base 20%, but you only lose 10% of your people in renewal. That's winning, winning, winning all the way around. Nobody's going to renew 100% of the time, but if you've got a renewal rate of 85, 90%, that's an amazing renewal rate. So if you do a great job with the subscription model that you have, people renew year after year after year.
Right. That's awesome. And so subscription, but then also delivery,
Yep.
which is the next step, right? Which
Yep.
is the next strategy.
So I mentioned the car dealership a moment ago, who sold me in advance all my service. Well, I wasn't going to buy a car from this car dealership. The only reason I stopped in that car dealership that day is my wife says, look at that car. It's beautiful. And it's in the window. I go, let's stop and look at it. It's like 10, 12 miles from where I live. The other dealership that I've been buying cars from for over 20 plus years, about 22 years, I think, is less than a mile from my office. So I could drop the car off. About half the time they'd have a loaner for me. Otherwise, I would just walk to work if it was a nice day,
Right.
or I'd wait for them to take me to work and pick me up. Pretty convenient, but not nearly as convenient as what my car salesman offered me at this other dealership. I said, I'm not going to buy a car from you. He goes, why not? I said, well, you're too far from where I live. He says, don't let that bother you. Do you see a waiting room anywhere in here? And I looked around and I didn't see one. He says, we have one. It's on the other side of the wall, but it's small. Because if you buy a car from us, when you need service, we bring you a new car. One of our demonstrator loaner cars, we will bring you a new car. We will pick yours up. We'll service it and bring it back when it's done. The next time you come in here will be to buy another car, not to get your car serviced. How much is this going to cost me? No, we're going to make the deal, and then you can shop it around if you want. If you find a lower price, let us know because we'll match it. But we think this is a pretty fair deal, and we'll give you that white glove concierge type service. And
Wow.
guess what? I bought my wife's car now from them, and I love them. Getting ready to buy another car from them. They out they disrupted their competitor by out conveniencing their competitor.
That's it. And even though, they say that they didn't charge you more for that service, yet they made more money because you are now referring them to everyone. You
Yeah,
bought a
yeah.
couple of cars
Kirkwood
there.
Audi. That's in the book. Kirkwood
Yes,
Audi.
there we go. That's great. That's awesome. And then the last of the six strategies is access.
Yes.
Tell me about
Access.
that. I love it. Sounds like behind the
Access is
scenes.
about availability, accessibility, and there's three areas of access. Really, that kind of falls into two, but I broke it into three, and that is, logistics, how close you are, location, hours of operation. Are you available on customer-friendly times, or is, like a bank that's typically available during banker hours? And then communication. And communication is, at 10 o'clock at night, if I'm having technical difficulties with my computer, is there a number I can call? Are you accessible for communication? So accessibility, it basically the lead case study I used was a bank, Huntington Bank, because their hours of operation were extended so that the customer could, after work, come to bank, or on the weekends come to bank, as opposed to most banks that are operating during the hours that we're at work. And like, how does that work? They call themselves a consumer bank, but they sure aren't open during the times consumers are not working and available to do their banking. So, but I guess it works for them most of the time.
And that's so smart. Huntington Bank, that example, I mean, it's so smart. It's such a simple thing. And it's just, what are you willing to do to make things a little more easy, a little convenient, a little more convenient, a little easier, a little more accessible to your customers that your competitors are not willing to do?
Right.
That,
So back to the auto dealership, and now I mean, because of the way I have my car serviced, I don't have to worry about this. But there's a Firestone dealer right down the street. They're open 7 days a week. They're open till 9 o'clock at night. And I was talking to the manager one day, because I work out and I run or walk by there, and I was just talking because I like Firestone, great company. They're also a client, and I said, so I see new cars coming in here. Oh yeah, we do new car warranty work. They don't take it back to their dealer. No, we're open, much better, more convenient hours. We do the same work. The manufacturer sends us the check when we do the work, so it's all cool. We do the warranty work. Wow, that's, once again, convenience rules.
yep, that's
Yep,
great. And that's what brings people back again and again and again,
yep,
especially today. Especially
yep,
today. That's
yep.
why you're so
Well, I was going to
important.
say, just a couple other examples, like Walmart. There's a stat in there that just blows my mind. 90% of America lives within 10 minutes of a Walmart.
Yeah. I'm not surprised by that. But
It's
yeah.
true. And how about Starbucks? If you are in New York City, there's one on this side of the street and that side of the street. I
Yep.
mean, they're everywhere.
That's right. Yeah. Unless you're in Massachusetts and then it's Dunkin' Donuts.
There
There.
you go. I like Dunkin' Donuts too.
Yeah. That's my hometown and we definitely love our Dunkin' Donuts. So, and I love, so those, that's so great. And I want to encourage everyone watching to just get the book and, really delve into all of these examples and the other great examples that you have. And I also have you have a great question that you bring up and that I'd love to ask back at you, which is this for companies, small businesses, large companies, or can this
Yes.
work for individuals? How does
Yes.
that work?
Yes. That's the answer.
Yes.
It's for every company and even an individual. And I have a chapter in there that convenience is for individuals as well. Think about it. If you have an appointment with your customer, do you make them come to you or do you go to them? If you have to make a phone call, can you call them instead of them call you? Just be more convenient. Even there's a little, you can look at the 6 concepts and you can find ways in these 6 would apply to an individual or the smallest of small businesses. So it is for every type of business. Now, I will caution you, and I talk about this in the book. There is a point where if you can't scale this and it's not, you may spend a lot of money trying to be convenient. It's got to pay back. Any investment you make into customer service, into capital improvements, everything needs to have a very carefully watched, do the work, do the upfront work and run your numbers and make sure this is what you want to do. Most likely there is a version of it that will work for you, but just don't get caught up. Amazon, Jeff Bezos even talks about this, and I quote him, that at a certain point, you got to cut bait. This seemed like a good idea. It seemed like it was going to be really convenient, like the drones that aren't yet part of the delivery system, but boy, they're working on making those drones pick up packages and deliver. Are we ever going to see that? He seems to think we will, but when, and if not, there will be a certain point in time where, and I hope it happens, but if it doesn't, I can imagine Jeff saying, we tried it and we tested it and there wasn't enough. We couldn't get the tipping point. It didn't seem to work, so we couldn't scale it out. Maybe another time in the future.
Yeah, I
You
love
gotta
that.
know when to go.
Yeah, yep, yeah. Our friend Nito Cobain, president of
Yes.
Hyken University, who's in the Speakers Association with us, he told me one time. He said we look at our ideas all the time because just because we had it doesn't mean it's a good one or it's still a good one. And
Right.
so, yeah. But I love this because I've been looking, just talking to you and looking at the book and looking at your 6 strategies, even in my business, and I'm sure in your business as well. That I'm thinking, oh gosh, how do we do this? How can we reduce friction? And maybe we need to look at how we use technology better. I don't know, but delivery, but subscription. How I don't know yet, but we're
Well,
asking.
Donna,
So
don't you have an online university?
we do have an online component, yes.
Exactly. And do they pay by the day that they're doing it, or do they pay over, like you have access to it for a period of time? It's a subscription.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and for us, it's typically part of a larger
Yeah.
contract, but it could be that we make it available in different ways, and that might be the
Right.
convenience factor there.
So
So
there you go. Plug for Donna's online program.
that's not where I was going, but thank you for
No,
that.
that's where I'm going though.
Great. That's good. Well, thank you so much, Chef. This is great. Is there anything else that before we leave, is there anything else that you would like the potential reader to know? Is there
Well,
any?
you know what? My suggestion is even if you don't buy the book, go to beconvenient.com for 2 reasons. Number one, there's a great video there that kind of goes into a summary of what the book is about. By the way, this isn't the actual book. It says advanced reader's copy on here. This one still has mistakes in it. It's the only copy I have, the one with mistakes. But so go there, watch the video, sign up for a newsletter because there's lots of great content that I share every single week and it's free. That's what I love about it. And there's just like come into the world, whether it's red carpet, tell me what it is, .tv,
The redcarpetway.tv.
the redcarpetway.tv or beconvenient.com. You're going to get great content everywhere.
Great. Yes, definitely. And Shep, it is just such an honor. It's always fun to talk to you. I love your work. I love your books. And thank you for being on the redcarpetway.tv.
Well, thank you for having me and ditto mutual love and admiration coming your way.
All right. And if you liked this video, please hit the subscribe button. Remember to hit that little alarm next to it so you always get an alert when we have a new video. And comment below. Let us know what you thought about this interview. I know Shep would love to know. He'd love to hear your comments. What do you think about the convenience revolution? And let us know that if you're going to buy the book, pre-order the book before October 2nd, 2018, and then look for the launch on that date. Thanks again, Shep Hyken, and this was the Red Carpet Way.